Canadian gamebook author Derek Schreiner has been nice enough to send me some of his gamebooks to take a look at. One, I'll confess, I haven't read. It's called Operation CanCon, which is Canadian 80s music shopping gamebook, and it seems that's just not a topic that I know anything about it. I haven't played this one, but I played the other ones. I will still mention it in case that is something that is interesting and important to you. I did play The Summer Job and Hikikomori. Let's start with The Summer Job, which is more traditional structurally than the other one. It is traditional in the sense that it's a choose-your-own-adventure type of book. Oh, my bookmark. In which you will make decisions and you will go to specific sections. There are no game mechanics per se, no die rolls, no things like that, but you will want to take notes just to be able to know what's going on and collect information and clues. The genre is heist. Now, not my favorite implementation of heist. My favorite heist is when you spend half of the time collecting a crew and then the other half is you realize that the heist had taken place already. It's more traditional because you have been hired to steal something, and I don't want to give you spoilers. So you start by scouting the location and then you go in and you do the mission. Now, the scouting the location is a section where you can go around and go back to multiple places, to the same place multiple times, which is sometimes a bit weird because the same conversations happen over and over again. It's exactly the same info. You look like you're looping back in time, but that's okay. And at some point, you can start the main mission. Now, when I read the book, because I had no clue exactly the structure, that's one of the good things about game books. You discover the structures as you go. I scouted a little bit. I thought, okay, maybe I looked up 2-3 things, and then I jumped onto the main mission, which is toward the end of the book. And the main mission is structured that you have various checks, like you want to do this or you want to do that. And one path will continue the story, that's the correct path. The other path will send you to a paragraph, that then sends you to another paragraph where you have a negative ending. I guess the author split the negative ending into two, but once you make the wrong choice, then you have to go to the other one, so that it's not obvious when you're flipping through the pages which one continues the story and which one is the negative ending. But take that into account that there are several of these one-way passages that way. And there are 45 endings over out of 200 and 76 paragraphs. So I scouted a little bit. I went to the main mission, and from time to time I would lose, and then I go back to the previous menu of options. And it's very nice when you end negative. It tells you want to go back to the previous choice, and it tells you even which one it is. You don't even need to keep a mark in the book like we do with game books. So I made the wrong choice. I go back and now I do the right choice. And sometimes I get the right choice just by chance. Sometimes I get the wrong choice. But basically, I ended up reaching the positive ending very quickly. While skipping most of the scouting place at the beginning because I didn't know it was necessary or useful. And again, it turned out to be not that necessary because there aren't like codes and you get stuck at some point. If you get a thing wrong, you go back and then you get it right and like that. And so I was like, wait, I read like a really small part of the book. So I went back, started from the beginning, and I realized the importance of scouting. I say importance with air quotes because, again, with a couple of failures, you're gonna reach the ending anyways. But then I was going around saying, oh, that's where you would have found that code that I just guessed randomly a 50% chance. Oh, that's where you learned that other thing, blah, blah, blah. And so my experience was a bit anticlimactic because I reached the optimal ending at the beginning, and just also structural, I'm not sure that the investigation at the beginning, the scouting of the area is all that necessary. Maybe again with codes and things, secret passages that at plus 20, if you know what the thing is, that would give me more incentive. But going back and reading what I could have figured out, but it wasn't all that necessary, wasn't all that exciting otherwise. So take that into account if you're reading the summer job. And if you want to play it optimally, spend your time taking notes and scouting the location before you go into the main mission, because otherwise you're at risk of winning the main mission with a minimal number of mistakes anyways. Hikikomori. Hikikomori, very unusual. It's allegedly a representation, a simulator of the life of an hikikomori. From what I know, it's a pathological condition of people who don't leave their house or mainly leave their room. They really struggle to socialize in person, online not so much. There's depression, violence involved sometimes. So I expect a pretty tough, pretty intense thing. It turns out that I believe the author uses hikikomori in a loose term as somebody who enjoys staying at home, and that's like 90% of the people that I hang out with, because we like games and video games and board games and books. So there's none of that tragedy or drama. What happens if my room is overflowing with trash and I don't want to get out, or I run out of food? It's just the pleasure of staying at home, and the author has his own routine with exercises and vitamins and likes to stay home a lot. Also from the book, like, you can be an hikikomori and have a partner and have a family and have a full life. Again, it seems to me like somebody who enjoys staying at home rather than a hikikomori proper. The structure is unusual because you realize it revolves around a solo game that you simply need to learn. You need to learn this game called Ino, or Aino, mini, mino, aino, mo, non lo so, I don't know, Ino. The idea is this: you will prepare a grid with 9 squares, tic-tac-toe style. Then you need a die. I forgot to get a die when I started filming the video. I just grabbed one of my boxes of dice. And then you roll a die, classic D6, and you write the number somewhere. I got a 3 again. I got a 6. I got a 5. Yeah, you gotta fill it, the whole thing. Oh, this is interesting. There you go. So you fill the whole thing. And actually this is the main game, filling this, because after that you will not have like choices. Now I count the unique number of numbers that I have. For example, I have a 2, I have a 3, I have a 4, I have a 5, and I have a 6. I think that's all that there is. So I have 5 unique numbers. Now I can roll this die up to 5 times, and when I roll it, I cross out one of these and I mark the all instances of the numbers that I rolled. For example, a 6 right there. I use the 4. My point is I'm trying to get the 3 in a row, horizontally, vertical, or diagonally. So because of where I place the numbers there, if I get a 3, I'm gonna win the game. No, 6 already gone. And 3, there you go. Exciting, huh? At the very last second, I won the game. What the heck has this to do with Hikikomori? Not a ton, but according to the author, it does. Basically, you start your first day by making by reading some excerpts from the author's ramblings. Then you decide how you want to approach your day, if you want to do it quickly, strongly, or wisely. Depending on how you want to say, well, let's go wisely, your day 1 of the current month, AM phase, you're going to play Eno based on these specifications here. So just some variants, for example, whether or not you're allowed to use skills, which kind of score you get. You play Eno a lot of times. So see, for example, On my first day, I'm gonna play Ino 8 times, starting from here, and here I write down how many times I won, and I can use my victory points to buy skills. And that's for the AM sheet. Then I will do the PM sheet, so I'll play Ino again. So basically I'll play Ino 16 times for each day of your Hikikomori diary. So the idea is always the same. You choose how you want to play Ino in that segment of the day. Again, we said wisely. Very wisely. It tells me some parameters. I play Ino 8 times. Then I'm told where to go. I go to 5. I get some random opinions of the author. I'm told where to go next. And remember, I played Ino 8 times to represent the morning of that day. Now I play it again to represent the afternoon, the PM phase. And yes, I didn't write in my book because I don't like to write inside my game book, so I just took notes like that. Now I play in the PM. I played 8 times and I resolved that day. Now I go to 11, so I'm starting. I get more opinions of the author. I decide how to play that day, and I think you get the pattern, which is exactly the same. The game is divided into days. Each day is divided into 2 sections, morning, afternoon. Each section is a variant of 8 games of Ino. A week is 5 days, and a month is 4 weeks, and a campaign is 3 months, so you're gonna play Ino a lot. Also, the book pretty much gives you a single month. You go through the tree, giving you different variants how to play it, and then you start that for the second month and the third month. Ino is a cute little solo game. Playing it hundreds of times is not as exciting, and the idea and the author tells you, oh, just pace yourself, don't binge, just, enjoy the journey, but it's still very, very repetitive. And there's something that ultimately prevented me from enjoying the game, which is the total disconnect between the game and the narrative. It's not just so much that what we learn about it is not the history of a Hikikomori, it's the history of somebody who enjoys staying at home. And it's not really a history, and the author, at least in this, is very open. These flavor texts are just recent ramblings or opinions about how long it took to the author to develop taste for coffee, what are some of the best shops in Ottawa, how often he does laundry. But again, there isn't really drama, tension. What is the author's favorite Swiss specialty? And I started skipping a little bit because I just wasn't so interested, I'll admit, in random opinions and random ideas that do not add up to a story. Well, now I know that one of the proudest habits of the author is drinking a smoothie after workouts. But I just wasn't all that excited. You can pause and read some of the ramblings. I'm glad that he wants to share his opinions about random ideas, but I couldn't get past the feeling they were just padding, didn't add up to anything. Also, again, if you're playing the full campaign, then you're gonna go through the ramblings 3 times because each covers one month of this tree, giving you different variants of the game. But the ramblings, the padding is always the same. And so, I don't know, it doesn't feel much like a game book. It feels like a collection of personal notes and ideas and opinions about random stuff. And you also play this game a lot. It's unusual, I'll give you that. It's a very unusual structure. And if one day, however, there is a simulator that creates a strong story, there's no story again, there's no story. There's the game and there are general ramblings. A story about the drama of somebody being unable, unwilling to leave the room with all the consequences that may come. I think that'd be interesting, but this is not the Hikikomori lifestyle simulator that I expected. And these are my opinions about the 2 game books by Schreiner that I read, Hikikomori and The Summer Job.